Ladies and gentlemen, let's first welcome to the ring the challenger from Argentina, Walter El Yacare Sequeira.
Walter Sequeira, ready to make his entrance to the ring. And here he comes, tonight in his 26th pro fight. Comes from Mercedes in the Buenos Aires province in Argentina. Reputation of being aggressive, heavy-handed, but will he have the power to trouble Anthony Yarde? And physically, very much the smaller man. Stopped his last two, and he's been a pro now for some 6 years.
And now let's welcome to the ring the defending champion from England, Anthony the Beast Yarde.
And now for our feature presentation.
DJ Corey up top.
Yeah. No cap, no rap cap. I to the top off, I'm dripping like hot sauce. I got drunk in this clean rock. Baby, give me that.
Anthony Yarde, one of the most exciting young talents in British boxing, makes his entrance. Tonight in his 17th professional fight. Already ranked number 2 by the WBO, number 5 by the IBF, and as you've heard, he's won his last 14 fights by knockout. Well, let's take a look at the tail of the tape between the two fighters. And as you see there, Anthony Yarde, significantly the taller man by 3 inches, with the reach advantage as well, and quite probably with the advantage in power also. He is developing the reputation of being one of the biggest single punch fighters currently in world boxing. So that's the statistics. There is Mr. Anthony Yarde with Tundi, his trainer, as ever, supremely confident, looking to extend that undefeated record. The fighters are ready. Our Master of Ceremonies is poised, and we can get the formal introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on BT Sport, and we welcome those of you in the United States and Canada joining us on ESPN+. It is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 10 rounds, and it will be for the WBO Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Championship. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red and Foot Asylum. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge, and WBO supervisor tonight, John Handelar, along with the World Boxing Organization, President Francisco Valcarcel. Our 3 judges, all from England, scoring on a 10-point must system will be Kieran McCann, Bob Williams, and Steve Gray. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, third man in the ring from England, will be Phil Edwards. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has arrived. Live from the Brentwood Centre here in Essex, England, this is our main event of the evening. Introducing to you first the challenger, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing white with gray and weighed in at 12 stone, 6 pounds. Coming to us from Buenos Aires, Argentina, he brings a professional record of 21 wins, 4 defeats, with 15 of his 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Walter El Yacare Sequeira. And his opponent across the ring, he is the defending champion, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing black with gold and weighed in at 12 stone, 5 pounds. Hailing from Ilford, Essex, England, he is undefeated with 16 wins. 15 of his 16 wins come by way of knockout. Here is the current WBO European and tonight the defending WBO Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Champion, Anthony the Beast Yarde.
Gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you. Follow my instructions at all times. Defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Well, Sequeira listed at 5'10", but I'm not sure he's only 3 inches shorter than Anthony Yarde, who looks physically a bit of a beast in comparison with the Argentinian visitor. And my word, Barry, he can punch.
He can punch, and everyone goes on about his power, and rightly so. But for me, it's always been about how he never rushes his work, but still gets it finished quite early, and I think that's very important. And we know, and Richie's right what he said, what he was saying earlier on, that we haven't seen him against a guy who's really come to try and win. They come to try and survive once they feel the power. So bigger tests. We keep saying it's bigger tests for the weight, but all he's got to do is just keep beating people in front of him, and that's what he's been doing so far.
As Frank Warren says, I could make a world title fight tomorrow, but the aim is not only to make a world title fight, but to win it and to keep it.
So you need to test to prove, you need some of those, there's a checklist for most fighters, and one of those checklists are a chin check, or how you absorb a shot. And Anthony, because of his power and the quality of opposition he's faced, hasn't had to face that just yet.
Well, it'll happen at some stage.
And I'm hoping, I'm sure, he'll pass through with flying colours. But until that, you can't be chucking people in for world title shots where people can bang. Even the people who don't wield punch can still bang.
Former world champion John Conti among those at ringside. I know John has a very, very high opinion of Yarde. WBC champion Adonis Stevenson, WBO Eleda Alvarez, who beat Sergey Kovalev, Artur Beterbiev, who beat Callum Johnson recently. Those are the sort of targets potentially for Anthony Yarde at some stage in the future. Oh, solid right hand. Sequeira under pressure in this opening round.
He is, but again though, Yarde not rushing his work, not getting too close to the target, allowing Sequeira to hold. Nice and relaxed, working behind the jab. Just trying to create the openings with the left hand.
Oh, good shot. Sequeira, who's won his last 4 fights, I think he was hurt a little by that right hand. He didn't want to throw too much after that. Those fans watching on ESPN in the United States know all about Anthony Yarde already. He's making shockwaves on both sides of the Atlantic. And regarded very much as potentially a star of the future. Oh, good uppercut.
That's good there from Sequeira there. That's good work from him there. Just trying to fight his way out of trouble. Against obviously the bigger man by looks like about 4 stone.
Well, it's a clear opening round for Yarde. Sequeira rallying a little in the closing seconds of the round, but really dominated by the British fighter. Here's Yarde in the corner, and he predictably dominating that opening round, Barry.
Yeah, and it was that right uppercut that did most of the damage. You just seen the body shot there, right to go to the top. He also landed a lovely right uppercut to the chin as well.
Well, there he is, great fighter of years gone by, John Conti.
See, right at the end of the round there, Sakiri, he had a little go and he tried to close the gap and smother the work of Yarde, and he's come out in his second round to do exactly the same thing. And Yarde's under no pressure, of course, but he has to make a bit of space to let those hands go.
Sakiri, who's been a professional since 2012. Oh, good left hand from Yarde. And a big body shot as well. Had to take one counter back from Sakiri, but not a great deal on it.
They were just swinging those punches, just enough to make Yarde think. And this is where Sakiri needs to be, nice and close to the target. With the shorter arms, he can wing those shots over the top. Yarde needs a little bit more space to get some leverage on his punches.
A couple of shots inside from Sakiri. Another one.
Got to turn him now, anti-Yarde.
Like that.
That's a lovely jab.
As we're frequently told, Yarde only with 12 amateur fights before his professional career began.
But he's now in his 17th pro fight, so I think that's almost like a...
And of course all the months spent training full time.
Of course, no, he's a fully fledged professional now, so that's all dead and buried now, that amateur career.
Sakiri trying to work away inside. He said that he was going to target the body of Yarde. He reckons that he's weak in that area. Well, we'll see.
I don't see how he can say that by looking at him. He looks like a man mountain, doesn't he, Yarde? But he's done a good job of smothering some of the work here, Sakiri of Anthony Yarde. Nice right hand there as well.
Well, he's had some success in this second round. Certainly matching Yarde in terms of work rates, and a few of those overhand rights have landed. Not a huge amount on them, and Yarde not discomforted by them, but they've been getting through.
Good body shot there from that Yarde. The weight and the shots is massively different.
Looks in a different weight division, doesn't he, Sakiri? Well, he's bravely trying to get right in the face of Yarde and trying to work him over inside. Fairly close round. Well, back here at Brentwood, our main event, Anthony Yarde against Walter Sakiri. Sakiri having his moments in that second round. Did he do enough?
I just think the weight on the punches of Yarde were maybe just enough for him to just nick the round. He was not under pressure, Anthony Yarde, just not doing enough work. He needs to be a little bit busier now.
Well, not a lot between them. They're fairly quiet round that second as we move now into the third of this 12-rounder. Yarde trying to keep a bit more distance now. Good left hand and the right to the body as well, and brought in a beautiful right uppercut, and this is his best attack perhaps of the fight so far, doubling up beautifully on the jab. Sakiri coming back though, takes the attack
and absorbs the power as well, doesn't he, Sakiri, quite well.
Well, I'm not sure he's going to absorb too many like that. Momentarily looked as though he was going to go down, but fires back bravely. Body shot again from Yard. If there's a light heavyweight currently in world boxing with a more impressive physique than Anthony Yard, I'm not sure who that would be. Physiques don't win fights, but he's certainly an imposing figure.
Taking his time against here, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Seeing this guy can absorb a shot quite well, so you just don't want to burn himself out with just throwing too many haymakers. That's good. Just variation in the jab there, one to the head, one to the belly, and then straight over the top of the right hand from Anthony Yard. Some of those heavy shots there from Yard, just taking a little bit of energy out of Sakari's work.
Well, second round was a lot closer. There might have been a few who might even have said that Sakara won that second round, but no way he's winning the third. Sakara trying to show he's got some physical strength as well, walking Yard into the corner, into his own corner. And that was a clear round for Anthony Yard. Really impressive round for Anthony Yard there, Barry, and being told while we were away on that little break that this is the round. This round coming up after the dominance shown here in the third. He might be going looking for it in the fourth.
Well, it would suggest that he did soften him up a little bit in that round, John, and he will be looking now for the finish.
You've got him 3 rounds out of 3, and that clearly the best round that Yard has produced so far, that third. He's going looking.
It's a good jab there from Yard. That's a lovely left hook there from Sakari there.
Sakara certainly not complying with Tunde Ajayi's idea of a script. He doesn't look as though he's about to be blown away, does he?
He takes a good shot, and what he does, he gets really close to the target. Once he's been tagged a little bit, he just gets really chest to chest.
Trying to work away at Yard's body.
Well, Yard's got it. This is Yard's job now, to find space. And then he turns him. A little bit of a push with the shoulder, make a bit of space for the uppercut.
Yard not getting him away at the moment. Now can he do so? And he does. Chopping right hand. Sakara rubbing the back of his head as much as to suggest it was an illegal shot. I don't believe it was. He's not a happy man.
Walk to me, walk to me.
Goes down for the first time in this fourth round. Now Yard will look to finish it. Chopping right hand it was, Barry.
Yeah. Well, what he does, Yard, he leans on the back of the neck with the left, the forearm. That's why they might be complaining, oh, good shot.
Well, that might be it. Sakara feeling the power once more.
7, 8.
Up at the count of 7. Phil Edwards, the referee, having a close look. Wants to see him walk forward properly. He does so, but down twice. Now Yard looking to finish it. Big left hand and a right hand. And he goes down for the third time.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Will the referee stop it? He does. Another straightforward win for Anthony Yard. And the winning run continues.
Lions in the camp. Lions in the camp.
The lion continues. What do you make of that, Barry?
Well, it's a win, and he gets us another stoppage. But I think I've seen better from him. I got to be honest, and I don't want to criticise guys who just won a fight quite comfortable, but he was a little bit too easy to hit at times. Maybe because he knew he was up against a guy who he could be quite comfortable, but still, he's at that stage of his career now where he's on the verge of bigger fights, and I think he got to show his best every time now.
The difficulty with Anthony Yarde is that people below him are kind of fear him, so he's getting asked for huge money and they're not willing to go in with him. Those above him, because of his lack of experience, is he actually ready for them?
Well, he's not, but all those business parts of the game are not our concern. That's the business guys. That's their job to get those deals made for us to watch, and for him to see how good he is and what level he genuinely is at. We don't know. That's the thing with Anthony Yarde. He looks fantastic. He really does. But we don't know, as Richie was alluding to earlier, we don't know what level he's actually at yet until he fights someone who can really give him a fight. Now, security there, they've done a few good things, got close to the target, had a good second round, showed not vulnerabilities, but little gaps in the defensive yard where you could be exploited by a better boxer and a bigger puncher. But maybe Yarde went in there with a little bit of arrogance, knowing that he couldn't be hurt by this guy, and it was just a walk in the park. Until he's in those tests, we don't know yet, and that's the only question mark over Yarde. But everything else, he looks the part. He looks cosmetically, he looks fantastic. He finishes fights with impressive fashion. He got good patience in his work. He ticks a lot of good boxes, but there's a few boxes that he needs to tick before we can say this guy will be a world champion.
He is a huge prospect, such an exciting talent, and getting another stoppage win. He'll be his own harshest critic, I'm sure, when he analyses it long and hard with his trainer afterwards. But for the moment, celebration time once more, and Anthony Yarde making it 17 wins out of 17, and the crowd who've come to watch him getting the fireworks that they anticipated. Here's Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes, 14 seconds of round number 4. Our referee in charge, Phil Edwards, waves off the contest. Your winner by technical knockout, still undefeated, and the WBO Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Champion, Anthony the Beast Yarde.
Another very solid win indeed for Anthony Yarde as he edges forward yet again, moving seemingly inexorably at some stage towards that world title shot. The question, when?
The simple evidence is very compelling indeed, but the mystery in some ways is going to grow and grow and grow, and I think that's part of the attraction, in all honesty, with this. I was going to say young man, he is 27, but in professional boxing terms, indeed in boxing terms, amateur and pro, he's relatively still a novice. But where actually the step up is made, I'll leave it to the experts.
Well, sometimes in our game, sometimes it's easy. You win this, you win this, you win this, and those are the two guys you're targeting, and you go out and find them. I'm telling you, hand on heart, no one really knows where we go. I'm using the royal we, where we go with Anthony Yarde. The champions are good. They're dangerous. They're seasoned. Even if they've only had 15 or so professional contests, most of them have 300
Sorry, are you talking
amateur.
British and European level, or are you talking at world level, Steve? Because
I'm talking both levels.
Okay, but who am I against your knowledge of the game? But if you don't mind me saying, I think that is two different arguments, and we've got to address both of them. Britain and Europe, part one. But if you look in detail at the world level, it is a jungle.
Well, if you throw them all together, if you throw the 4 or 5 Brits that I think he could fight, and if you throw the 15 or so Cubans, Americans, Uzbeks and Russians together, there's about 20 boxers out there. And I'll be absolutely honest with you, I don't think he's afraid to fight any of them. Frank Warren is quite right. Why? I don't want to make him with Beterbiev now, because I want him to win and I want him to keep the title. It's tricky, this path, and it's been tricky. And here's the thing, Paul, 20 years ago, he'd only be on undercards, remember. Let's get that right. There's a lot of pressure on modern fighters to perform and perform all the time.
More on that big theme, but what about the work tonight? from you?
Yeah, listen, he came out in the first round, he dominated the first round, and because he did that, then he takes a few risks that he probably wouldn't against a much better fighter. I thought Sakira's tactics were very good in the second round because he got close up to Anthony Yarde and tried to smother his work. But Anthony Yarde, again, like all good fighters do, they find a way, he finds quality shots, and you can't help but be impressed with the work that he does. He's powerful, he looks chiselled, good performance overall, but as we know, we keep saying he needs a bigger test.
To Ron McIntosh. Ron.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. Anthony, congratulations. You extend that winning streak. 17 wins out of 17, 16 knockouts, a 15-fight knockout streak. Tell us, how did the fight go from your perspective?
It was a good fight. Very, very good fight. Again, still learning. I felt like I landed the shot I needed to land in the end. And yeah, it's another victory.
Most certainly is. Just before we were speaking just before off camera, you said that he was awkward and you had to work him out. Just talk us through that process. How do you go about working out a guy who's so tough and nuggety, looking to crowd your work? Talk us through that process.
Well, one thing I do know is that it's boxing. So it does, sometimes you get different, that's what I said. I've said this in previous interviews. You get different opponents that give you different looks. So it's another thing for me to figure out whilst I'm in the ring. Again, under a lot of pressure, under the lights. I've got to work it out. I'm doing an apprenticeship in front of the world. Limited amateur experience. Again, this is my experience. A lot of people are rushing and things like that. And again, it's because of how I'm doing things, people are wanting to see me get tested. Everyone just be patient. Everything's timing.
We understand that, but elaborate on that for us. As you say, in days gone by, you would be on undercards, you'd be hidden away, you'd be away from the spotlight. But because of the manner in which you fight, because of the way you look, how are you coping with performing under such pressure?
For me, there's no pressure. I feel like the only pressure there is in life in general is the pressure you put on yourself. The pressure I see is lions in the camp. Beast from the east, Tunde Ajayi, Stamina Faso, Ade Oliyinka, and you know, it's a team effort, and you know, we work every day in the gym, every single day, and even on Sunday, sometimes when we're resting, we're still doing some sort of work, if that makes sense to the people that are dedicated. But that's just how it is. It's a journey.
Well, listen, congratulations on a terrific win tonight. We look forward to seeing you in the boxing ring very soon and continuing this professional journey under the pressure of the ring lights and all the expectation on you. Well done.
I just want to say as well before I go, thank you to my sponsor Adidas. Thank you for Stamina Faso, Tunde Ajayi, and Max Muscle Foot Asylum. It's a big journey. Stay tuned. Lions in the camp.
Anthony Yarde, thank you very much indeed. Congratulations.